Hello boys, welcome back to another interesting session of video tutorials. This session is meant for class 11th biology students and this is for 3rd October 2020. I am today posting an interesting photo of how hormones will influence our day-to-day life. So this I collected from different sources and I thought this will be of great help to us, not only for exam's sake, in our daily life also. What is that? Get your daily dose. D-O-S-E. D stands for dopamine. O for oxytocin. S for serotonin. And E for endorphin. So these are what we call happiness chemicals. Now look at this. The figures also will showing you. Now what is the function of this dopamine? It enables motivation, learning and pleasure, happiness. So happiness hormone, happy hormone, and gives you determination to accomplish goals, desires and needs. So very good chemical. We should have always dopamine in our body. And the moment I say this, I am sure most of you will ask, sir, how to get that, sir? Can we purchase it? Is it available in the medical shop? Okay, no need. It's available within us. We need to have some lifestyles. And once we have the adaptation to have that lifestyle, all these happy chemicals will be there in our body and no extra chemical is required. Okay, now we move to oxytocin. It gives a feeling of trust, motivates you to build and sustain relationships. After all, we need to have good relationships with others. Then only we'll have good house, good home, good society, good village, and of course finally good world. And this is of course affectionately called as cuddle or love hormone. It plays a role in bonding. Look at the baby who will be crying. The moment the mother takes the baby into the arms, automatically the baby stops crying. That's the love hormone. Oxytocin plays a very good bond between the mom and the baby. So even in case of daddies, once you hug your daddy, you forget all your worries. So this is how the oxytocin plays a crucial role. And serotonin, third one, feeling significant or important among peers. Many times you ask me in the class, sir, why you pick up only particular boy's name? Why not my name? That means you want the individual attention. I understand. Your serotonin says, come on, sir should call my name, right? And calm form of accepting yourself with the people around you. You are able to adapt to the new situations, adjustment. And then endorphin. It releases a brief euphoria to mask physical pain. You are able to sustain physical pain because of endorphins. Response to pain and stress to elevate anxiety and depression. So that endorphins should be careful. We must be careful with that endorphins. How deficiency affects you? Now the first one that we are talking is dopamine. Okay, dopamine deficiency makes us procrastination, low self-esteem, means you don't respect yourself, lack of motivation, low energy or fatigue, you are always tired, inability to focus. Many times you tell, sir, I am not able to focus, I am not able to study. Okay, and then feeling anxious, bit of tension, feeling hopelessness and mood swings. Sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are angry, sometimes you are sad, sometimes you are quiet. Okay, all these are because of a chemical hormone dopamine. And next, oxytocin. When oxytocin is less in our body, you are feeling lonely, you are stressed, lack of motivation, low energy or fatigue, and disconnect of relationships, and feeling anxious, and insomnia means you will forget your pen, you forget your notes, you forget your points in the examination. Try to recollect how many times you struggled to recollect the answer, right? Next, serotonin, low self-esteem, overly sensitive. I remember sometimes if I raise my voice, some boys will have tears in the eyes. Okay, I have not told anything, I am not scolding you, but then you are so sensitive that you start crying. So that is because of serotonin. And anxiety, panic attacks, mood swings, just now I said, feeling hopelessness, social phobia, you are not able to mix with the peer groups, with your own friends, obsession, compulsion, and of course insomnia. Again, serotonin is a must. And then endorphin. When endorphin is deficient, anxiety levels will be there, depression will be there, mood swings will be there, a lot of pains and aches in the body, forgetfulness will be there, and of course very dangerous impulsive behavior, quickly short-tempered you are. So how to increase this? That's our basic one, no? I know after listening to all this you wanted to know, sir, how to do it. Now see, very simple. In order to have dopamine, which is a happy hormone, what is that you need? What is the one that I have been telling you off the class and on the class? Do meditation. At least 10 minutes daily before you go to bed or early morning when you get up, do meditation. Focus on your favorite God or your mummy, your daddy, whomsoever you like. And daily to-do list. Make a list. Early morning when you get up, just write, or before you go to bed, make a list. What is that I have to do tomorrow on priority basis? Okay? To-do list. And long-term goals. What is that you want to achieve in the life? Of course, as a science school student, you have one big goal: joining NDA and become a commissioned officer and serve the country. Okay? That's the goal. And food rich in tyrosine. This is amino acid, right? L-tyrosine. And exercise regularly. This is good. I hope, being science school boys, you are continuing. Daily you are doing exercise. I am sad to see that some of the boys are coming back to school for some purpose, and I am seeing them becoming motos. They are very, very obese. Within the span of 6 months, if you are becoming so bulky, God should save you. Come on, don't put on weight. That's very, very dangerous. Obesity is the mother of all diseases. So don't become obese. Do exercises and create something. Say you are good in that. Write stories, small stories. Write your favorite heroes, and national heroes, international heroes, and learn at least one instrument in the music. Now that you got time, it's the time, and music gives you a lot of relaxation, and many scientists even prove that it's a music therapy. It will make you de-stressed. At least one instrument you learn in this pandemic. And then we come to the second one, oxytocin. Again, it's a love hormone. So physical touch, as I said just now, the moment mother carries the baby in her arms and hugs, the baby stops crying. So the reason is oxytocin is released. And socializing, always have a get together, and I'm sure many times you had the gatherings, you enjoyed it, you laughed, opened up your mind, right? And then massage therapy, of course, good acupuncture. There will be some needle-like things, minute needles which will be pressed on certain nerve end points, which will accelerate the impulses, and that will create a lot of relief. And listening to music. Next, exercise, which is good, and of course cold shower. So most of you like this. And then, as I said, my favorite, meditation. Always you do that. And how to get the serotonin? Exercise. See, if you see, the common thing is meditation and exercise. So you have to do that. Then only the chemicals will be secreted, and you will be having a lot of happiness. Cold showers, and of course sunlight and massaging. And endorphins, laughter or crying, depending on that. So when you always laugh, again laughter therapy, a lot of endorphins will be released. When you cry also, but then danger. And creating music, just now I said, drawing good pictures, art, and eat dark chocolates. Of course, you are all used to it. And eat spicy foods, so avoid that, don't eat that. And then exercise and stretching, that will help you. Massage and meditation. If you see overall, 3 things are very common to have all these hormones in balance. One is the meditation, the first one. Second one is exercise, and the third one, music. So you focus on these 3, that will help you a lot. and I will go now directly to a small concept called mechanism of hormone action. Of course, this is not there for you, but just out of curiosity you want to know, that's why I'm just putting it. So first and foremost, the hormone will be secreted by various glands, and there should be a protein receptor in the membrane. The protein receptor will accept the hormone, and there will be changes like GDP becoming GTP, and the GTP will produce what is called adenylate cyclase, and this ATP forms CAMP, and CAMP activates protein kinases. So new proteins will be formed, and formation of new relevant proteins will bring change in the phenotype or physiology. And that's how required ones will be formed. So hormones are the chemical messengers secreted directly into the bloodstream by endocrine gland. They are target specific and bind to specific receptors. As I said just now, receptors are proteins. On the basis of binding of hormone on their specific receptor, the mechanism of hormonal action is categorized into two groups. They are fixed membrane receptor mechanism, mobile receptor mechanism. Just now we said is what I showed you here is the fixed membrane receptor mechanism. The hormones that are protein or amines in composition, such as growth hormone, these are all protein hormones. ADH, antidiuretic hormone, oxytocin, just now I was telling you, insulin, adrenaline, follicular stimulating hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, shows this mechanism. What is that? Fixed membrane receptor mechanism. These hormones are water soluble and cannot pass through the lipid membrane, and they have their target receptor on the cell membrane. This is the reason these are water soluble. That is the reason they cannot pass through the membrane. So there is a need for receptor to absorb that hormone. So the receptors are fixed on the cell membrane, so hormone can bind on the specific receptors. So binding of hormone on specific receptor on target cell activates the enzyme, just now I said, adenyl cyclase in the cell membrane, and cause production of CAMP, cyclic AMP, as I said here, cyclic AMP. And CAMP act as secondary messenger. It diffuses through the cell membrane and activates protein. So this is how the protein will be formed, and the protein kinase, and various enzymatic reaction to cause biochemical changes in the target area. After the target cell responded to these changes, CAMP is deactivated by a group of enzymes called phosphodiesterase. So this is how mechanism will take place. So you got hormone like, for example, FSH, follicular stimulating hormone, and since it cannot penetrate through the ovarian cell membrane, there has to be a protein receptors, and that receptor will take this hormone and response 1 will be formed, and that results in the formation of cyclic AMP, and biochemical responses will be there in the target area, and physiological responses, that is ovarian growth of the ovary takes place. And once this process is going on, how to have a control? The phosphodiesterase will make this cyclic AMP to stop production. Once this is stopped, the ovarian growth will not be too much. This is how it takes place. And then we have got a mobile receptor mechanism, second one. The lipid soluble hormones such as steroid hormones and fatty acid hormones can easily pass through plasma membrane. They have their receptor inside the cell, freely floating in the cytoplasm. Here the hormone itself can enter inside because of the fat soluble. Binding of hormone to specific receptor activates the enzymatic activity of the cell for biochemical changes. Some hormones like testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, cortisol, thyroxine have their receptors localized inside the nucleus. Here see, inside the nucleus. And the hormone receptor complex are carried inside the nucleus. Here you see, this is the membrane, uterine cell membrane, and this is the nucleus. So receptor hormone complex is formed inside the nucleus. The hormone receptor complex initiate a transcription of the DNA to form specific mRNA. So DNA forming RNA is transcription. So here mRNA is formed. So finally it is the mRNA that is mRNA initiate protein synthesis in the cytoplasm. So corresponding proteins will be formed, and that formation of proteins causes biochemical changes in the cell. So this is how the mechanism of hormone action in both the ways take place. So keep practicing, practice both the diagrams, and I hope you enjoy.